Bill Maher thinks WNBA rookie and #1 draft pick Caitlin Clark is being targeted by other players because she's not a lesbian and she's white.
Hey, what if you had a totally different viewpoint on Caitlin Clark's move to Europe? Bill Maher just disclosed something far more startling than we had imagined. Was money the main reason she left the WNBA, or was there a deeper reason?
The league is very lesbian, and she's not. And there's race. There's a lot of going.
You won't believe the real reason for Caitlin's contract abroad, and everyone is buzzing about what Ma disclosed. To make sure you don't miss any of the most recent sports news and analysis, make sure to read the notice and click the subscribe button before we begin.
They defend each other on their same team. I mean, men will fight from two teams, but when somebody checks you on who's on your team, you defend that.
Bill Maher didn't hold back while discussing Caitlin Clark's unexpected relocation to Europe. The majority of fans believed that Clark's departure from the WNBA was only due to greater prospects or a higher income elsewhere. However, Ma made it apparent that this action extends well beyond that. He asserted that Clark's departure was motivated by more than just money. Instead, she was escaping a situation in which she felt completely uncomfortable. Home in Europe, where she can focus on her game without the drama and distractions.
I'll just say, it's not always racism when a white person succeeds.
And it's not always racism when black people hip check them.
I'll just add that when a white person succeeds, it's not necessarily racism. Additionally, when black folks hip check him, it's not usually racism. Let's look at what Ma revealed in his own words. Because she didn't match the NBA's favored narrative, Clark's time in the league wasn't simple from the start. It wasn't limited to basketball either. Ma claims that this caused tension outside of the court. In a league that should have welcomed her, Clark was treated like an outcast instead of being commended for her exceptional talent and potential. Ma didn't hesitate to expose the NBA's perceived hypocrisy. One of the league's biggest talents was allegedly excluded because she didn't meet the proper social categories, despite the league's long-standing claims to be progressive and inclusive. This has nothing to do with Caitlin's playing prowess. Instead, it was about her not being able to contribute to the league's earnings for someone like Clark, who has been smashing records and garnering attention since her college days. The worst thing, in Ma's opinion, was that it was obvious that Clark didn't belong because other players also appeared to target her. From disparaging statements to overly combative court play. Despite being one of the greatest things to happen to the WNBA in a long time, Clark seems to be continuously pushed out of the spotlight, instead of welcoming her as the future of the league. Making her uncomfortable seemed to be of greater appeal to several players. Any athlete would find this kind of treatment challenging, but for a rising star like Clark, it must have been very depressing. Dealing with fierce competition is one thing, but feeling like the entire league is against you is quite another. In recent games, Clark expressed on social media how aggressive the defense had become against her, saying that she felt like she was being battered on the court and that the umpires were allowing her opponents to get away with things they wouldn't do for other players. Ma also pointed out that this wasn't an isolated incident. Ma claims that Clark's WNBA experience was a part of a larger trend in which the league prioritized voting for a particular social agenda over seeing talent. Maher claims that because Clark wasn't merely an athlete who didn't fit the stereotype, her chance to play in Europe must have felt like a lifeline. For someone who loved basketball, the climate was suffocating, and she was a victim of a system that prioritized politics over athletics. Money and better facilities weren't the only reasons Clark wanted to play in Europe. It has to do with surviving. Europe gave Clark the chance to escape a situation in which she was constantly disregarded. There, she could focus on basketball, which is her strongest suit. There are no hidden agendas, just the game, and no social politics. The Mars bombshell also draws attention to the WNBA's current, more serious issues. Despite the league's advancements in women's sports, it is clear that there are still persistent problems that need to be addressed. It's a major red flag if a player from Mars, like Caitlin Clark, who is undoubtedly one of the most talented athletes to join the league recently, feels the urge to depart. The WNBA is meant to be the highest level of women's basketball, but it may face serious difficulties in the future if it continues to lose elite players like Clark. A discussion over whether the league is truly as inclusive as it says it is or if it is excluding the very talents who may advance it has been spurred by the Maher's disclosures. Players have also started to voice their concerns about the WNBA's issues, and some are even thinking about heading abroad like Clark did. Playing in Europe appeals to these athletes for reasons other than financial gain. It's about getting out of an environment that is becoming more and more toxic. The catastrophic reaction from Maher's words has many fans wondering what's really going on behind the scenes in the WNBA. Maher's shocking revelation has raised concerns about whether the league is genuinely committed to showcasing the top players or advancing a particular narrative. What does that signify for women's basketball going forward if the latter is the case? If the WNBA wants to survive for the foreseeable future, it must address these issues. Maher's revelations have opened a bag of worms that won't be easily closed, even though it seems like Caitlin Clark has found a new home in Europe where she can focus on her game without the drama and distractions of the WNBA. The WNBA must reflect deeply if it hopes to keep its best players from departing. According to Maher, the league's present approach isn't working and is a component of a bigger issue that exposes deeper divisions inside the WNBA. The league has always been proud to be inclusive and forward-thinking. However, Maher's bombshell showed how these same principles might be turning away some of its top players. What does it say about the league's current situation if Clark, a record-breaking rookie who has attracted a lot of attention, feels alienated enough to leave? Maher's viewpoint suggests that the WNBA is more concerned with advancing a specific narrative than embracing the diversity of all of its players, including those who don't fit the image it wishes to project, rather than appreciating Clark for her talent and the excitement she brought to women's basketball. The major objective of the repercussions was to prevent her from overpowering its preferred narratives. The WNBA has been enjoying a strong reputation as one of the world's most progressive sports organizations, supporting players who identify as LGBTQ+ and promoting social justice. But as Maher noted, this emphasis has eclipsed the game itself and produced an atmosphere in which players like Clark feel uncomfortable. The WNBA may have unwittingly alienated those who don't match its image in an effort to promote an inclusive narrative, making basketball a secondary concern. According to Maher, athletes who don't fit that mold have been ostracized by the league's social and political agenda. The league's future will be significantly impacted by this shift in focus. The WNBA relies on its stars to attract fans, sell merchandise, and draw spectators, just like any other professional sports league. Caitlin Clark was one of those stars, and her relocation to Europe suggests that if these internal issues are not addressed more swiftly, the league may lose more of its top players. If additional players who experience comparable loneliness or marginalization followed Clark's lead and sought out possibilities elsewhere, it would be devastating for the WNBA. Given that other players have also voiced discontent with the WNBA's atmosphere and that others are considering leaving the league for similar reasons to CLA, Maher even warned that Clark's decision would result in a larger exodus of talent from the league. Players who believe the WNBA is no longer the best match for them are increasingly drawn to European leagues because they provide higher salaries and a more basketball-focused atmosphere, even if European organizations usually pay more than WNBA teams. Maher made it apparent that Clark's financial benefit was not the only reason for this action. Despite her apparent brilliance in Europe, she felt that she was continually being pushed out of the spotlight and wanted to be away from the drama and politics. That's what Europe gave her. Additionally, the WNBA will struggle to retain its star power and keep fans engaged if additional players follow in Clark's footsteps. Because of her abilities on the court as well as the attention her games brought to the league, losing a player like Caitlin Clark is devastating. She garnered a lot of attention and was expected to be a prominent figure in the WNBA for many years to come. But now that the focus is on Europe, the WNBA will have to work hard to fill the void she created. The Maher's bombshell also raises a crucial discussion on the relationship between politics and sports. The WNBA has been one of the most outspoken leagues when it comes to social problems, but Maher believes that the sport itself may be suffering as a result of this emphasis. A poisonous environment where potential is eclipsed by non-sporting concerns for the WNBA could result if players believe they are being evaluated more on their social or political affiliation than their basketball abilities. It's a careful balancing act. In many respects, The league has led the way in promoting social justice and has established a solid reputation for its progressive ideals. However, it can backfire if such principles begin to force guys like Clark out of the league. If the WNBA wants to continue being a successful and competitive league, it must find a way to accept all of its players, regardless of their personal beliefs or backgrounds. Beyond Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, Maher's remarks have spurred a discussion. They raise more important questions about the relationship between politics and sports, as well as how leagues may reconcile their commitment to social concerns with their need to promote the game. Moving to Europe allowed Clark to focus on her love of basketball. However, this might be a wake-up call for the WNBA to reconsider how they are managing its athletes and their reputation. Now that she's in Europe, what does Caitlin Clark do? She has the opportunity to truly shine on a worldwide scale. Beyond the money and the game, Europe gives Clark a fresh start where she can focus on basketball without having to worry about playing in the WNBA. Clark's loss is both a major setback and an opportunity for the WNBA. Given how fiercely competitive European women's basketball is, her skill will surely make her a star player abroad. Another advantage for Clark is that the European leagues are renowned for being more lucrative. If the WNBA can use this chance to think about how it manages its athletes and whether its priorities are in line, it might come out stronger on the other side. They run the risk of losing more players like Clark and damaging their reputation as a top league, though, if they continue in this manner. Bill Maher's shocking revelation exposed a side of the WNBA that few had imagined, and it has raised important questions about the leagues and the future of women's basketball in general. Regarding Caitlin Clark's decision to quit the WNBA, do you think Bill Maher is right? What does this signify for the league's future? Kindly provide your opinions in the space provided for comments below. Remember to like this video as well. The fact that Caitlin Clark moved to Europe is a reminder that the game is ultimately what matters. And the WNBA must put basketball back at the core of all it does if it hopes to be competitive. Please click the notification bell and subscribe to our channel to make sure you don't miss any more important sports articles like this one. We appreciate you viewing, and we hope to see you in the upcoming video.